Welcome to Tiny Pep Talks for Step Parents, a short weekly podcast with new episodes every Sunday. For today's pep talk, the number one thing that would have helped me most as a new stepmom. Knowing what counts as normal in a step family would have made a huge difference in how I approached becoming a stepmom. I was completely unprepared for how hard this role was going to be. I started looking for step parenting resources after Dan and I had been together maybe a couple years or so. I found exactly 2 books at my local library. Both were packed to the brim with common sense, unhelpful stuff like, just show an interest in your stepkids' interests and they'll come around. Most importantly, just let them know that you love them. Always the chipper tone, always with reminders to stay positive, and always skipping over the hard questions. Like, well, what if your stepkids make it super duper clear they don't want you to love them? And also, can someone please tell me how I'm supposed to always stay positive and unconditionally love my stepkid when she reports every move I make back to her high conflict mother, who then holds up any mistakes I've made as reasons why my stepkid should spend less time at our house? When you start asking the hard questions, suddenly there's only crickets, where relentless optimism and exclamation points aplenty once stood. And when no one answers those hard questions, you think, well, I guess I must be the only one dealing with this stuff, ? Maybe you start believing, like I did, that you must be screwing shit up extra specially good, since you're apparently the only step parent on the planet having these problems. Maybe you spend years beating yourself up, like I also did, because if you're the only step-parent having these problems, then you must also be the worst failure of a step-parent who ever step-parented. Only after I started helping other step-parents and hearing hundreds of stories that sounded exactly like mine did I retroactively figure out that all this was normal. Conflicted feelings are normal. Stepkids not liking their step-parents is normal. 1 step forward and 2 steps back is normal. Conflict between houses is unfortunately normal. Oh, and screwing up as a step-parent, yep, that's normal too. All those years, I had no friggin' clue because no one talks about these things. In the decade plus since I was a new stepmom, I've done a lot of thinking. If I could go back in time, what's the number one thing that would have helped me the most? And the answer is hearing real stories from other step-parents. I mean, yes, of course, it would have been great to have in-depth resources that did answer those hard questions, and that is exactly why Dan and I have created all the stuff that we have. But research only takes you so far. What I really needed to know was that I was not crazy and I was not alone. Oh, in case you need to hear that too, please know that you're not crazy or alone either. I am so thankful to have this platform and this community. I was terrified when I started sharing my own step parenting stories. No one else out there was talking about blended family life the way that I was. I think that's improved over the past several years since I started Blended Family Frappe, but not as much as I personally would like. So today I would like to invite you to come share your own step parenting story. You don't need to share your story with the whole world if you don't want to, but maybe just this little corner of the world where there are struggling step parents like you who really need to hear that it's not just them. It's all of us. And all of us helping each other by sharing our stories is what's going to get us through. If you're listening to this by podcast, please check the show notes for a link to the full transcript over on Substack, along with a ton of other resources, including a link for you to send in your own step parenting story. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to see you over there.